Hello. How are y'all doing? Sorry, y'all. My family's playing with the dog upstairs. How are you guys doing today? Ooh. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Why do I look like I'm sweating bullets? My goodness, it's chaos upstairs. Well, I hope you guys are doing well. It has been... Hey SLJ, it's been a good weekend. I mean, like not good. I worked, was busy, but I felt like it was very productive as well. I am counting down the days till I go to Montreal, which is like 9 days away. And I'm going to Lincoln Park in Montreal, which I'm excited about. I got my ticket for the plane and the ticket for the show. And I'm crashing at my friend's place for the week. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But what's going to be more fun is this live stream. Because we got lots to talk about. So without further ado, what's up everybody? Welcome to the General Hospital After Show. I am your host, Dion Gabriel. And wow, what a week it has been, eh? Oh man, Willow Dunn found out the truth about Drew and Nina and actually believed it. I never thought I'd see the day. But before we talk about that, we got to talk about the rest of the show too. So we'll save the best, not for last, but for like a little bit later. But that doesn't mean that we're saving the worst for first, for the record. Yeah, so I think we'll just jump into things. Oh, there's like a mosquito. I hate mosquitoes. Mosquito season is the worst. I'm gonna squish it. Sorry. I just don't want to get a bite. I hate those things. All right, so we're going to talk about Britt Westbourne first. So as you guys know, Jason saw her at the airport, entering a plane to Croatia, and did his best to make his way onto the plane as well, but to no avail. And Jason then spent his own trip back to Port Charles reminiscing about his relationship with Britt. So we got all the flashbacks, including flashbacks of her dealing with her Huntington's disease. It'll be interesting to see them explain it away, because, you know, we did get official confirmation that this girl that we've seen on screen is in fact Britt Westbourne, confirmed by the actress herself as well as TV Insider. So there's that. And again, as much as I love Kelly Thibault and the character of Britt, I'm pretty annoyed that we're going to have to magic away a very real, uncurable disease with some kind of ridiculous soap opera miracle remedy of some sort. I'm not a fan of that. Yeah. Which we've talked about. You know, it is going to be annoying, but we'll see how they spin it. Now, when Jason gets back to Port Charles, he actually tells Carly that he thinks that he saw Britt. And she just, you know, they talk about how Rocco's been bringing Britt up, and, you know, so Carly, she kind of thinks that, well, maybe because of that, she's on your mind and you thought you'd seen her, so it's playing with your head a little bit. I love that Carly was like, she died though, and Jason's sitting there like, bro, so have I, twice. Like, hell, Carly's died too. Oh man, so many people have died in Port Charles, honestly. The fact that anyone is convinced that anyone is really dead in this town is amazing. And honestly, I could go on a rant about typical soap opera plot points that have really cheapened any death that could happen and has. It's added so much distrust and like conspiracy to any death on the show. Like whenever a choice is made to kill a character, we're looking at every camera shot and every, like, did we see the body? Like, there's just, we're questioning everything, and rightfully so, because, you know, we've seen Jake come back from the dead and he gave away his organs, for God's sake. So well, I don't know, you know, he died on screen and got surgery in front of his parents, like after he died. I don't know, it's nuts. But yeah, we did get one last scene of Britt saying it's good to be back. You know, that sort of typical like nod to the audience when she arrived in Croatia, which was clearly shot in front of the studio, but whatever. I do still like when the crew goes outside with the cast. Elizabeth, you said the storyline is going to be fake to death, and it's ETM. Oh, hey, ETM machine. All right, good to know. Well, welcome. I'm sorry that you couldn't get into your old account. I dealt with that for like 8 years. Like, it took me 8 years to get back into my old account once. It was nuts. But yeah. Kaiwan, you said the doctor Jocelyn's working with is a doctor for animals. They use animals to cure cancer and stuff. Yeah, but like to have a cure for a real disease on a show and that not happen in real life, it's gonna be like, I don't know. There's some people that really loved that they told the story with Britt back when it was happening, and you know how it made them feel seen and stuff. So that would be like a very bad approach. Hey, Aaron. In my opinion. But we'll have to see what happens, I guess. Anyway, I guess the real question when it comes to Britt is, does Liesl Obrecht know that she's alive? Because factoring in Kathleen and Kelly returning to the show at the same time and knowing who Liesl is, it makes total sense on paper that she'd have something to do with it. But I gotta admit, I'm not 100% convinced that Obrecht knows. Like, I mean, we don't really know where Liesl's been, to be fair. She could have been with Britt. But, like, it was Rocco who brought her back to Port Charles. And we see her checking in with the rest of the family, too. Obviously, we saw what happened with Obrecht, Nina, and Willow in the previous week. This week, we got to see her interact with James and Spinelli at the hatchet range. It was funny. Obrecht being classic Obrecht and teaching James how to aim, and then him aiming perfectly every time was hilarious. To have, man, it would be like her past aside, having an aunt like Liesl would be so fun. Just because she's so eccentric. I love it. But yeah. Spinelli gives Lulu the heads up that Obrecht is back in town, and Lulu calls Dante. And they both run into her at the pool, and Obrecht and Rocco are laughing and talking together, which obviously they didn't like, and they tell her to leave, which Rocco was not happy about. Lulu and Dante are going to end up pushing Rocco right into Obrecht, and when she gets back, Britt's arms as well. And, you know... Like, you know, if they don't let Rocco figure things out for himself, whatever the truth is, they're gonna lose their son over it, I think. And Dante's gonna have both of his sons avoiding him. James will have a perfect game. Angel, you said, Dion, have you ever seen ADA accommodations at a lawn-only concert? I have not. What does that even mean? What? What? Elaborate. Oh man. Oh, but his grandfather, the vampire, the actor. Oh. All right. Okay. Anyway, let's talk about one of Dante's son's mothers, Brooklyn. She had a very awkward week because Lucy took it upon herself to initiate a reunion for Lois and Brooklyn on live television, on Home and Heart, or whatever it's called. And of course, Lois was oblivious to the fact that that Lucy was setting it up, and Brooklyn was pissed. But because they're so professional, they essentially just played it off convincingly that they were getting along just fine. Everything was fine on screen. They're laughing and giggling and hugging and all this stuff. But the second the lights go out, Brooklyn fires Lois. And of course screams at Lucy for doing that to them. And honestly, I don't blame them. That's cruel of Lucy to do that. And on live television, that's bold. That is freaking bold, man. Like, I would be pissed. I would be so pissed. Oh, Angel, you said disability accommodations for concerts that only have lawn space. Just a huge field. I mean, I don't go to outdoor shows too often unless they're at like a carnival or like things like that. I've only been to a couple of open field concerts, but it depends on the field because some of them there's like hills. I'm sure that maybe some of them have like a space, but I don't know. I just don't know. All right. But yeah, I would be pissed. And anyway, Lois she confided in Flora, the host of Home and Heart. Not the same usual one that we get, but a different host. And we've seen her before too, I believe. But yeah, she confides in Flora about what went down between her and Brooklyn. And I guess in Flora's mind, everything that went down was solely on Lois's mom. And I'm like, well, no. They both made these decisions together. So they both got to sit with it, in my opinion. Brooklyn admitted to Tracy that pretending to get along with her mom made her miss her mom a little bit. But Tracy was impressed that Brooklyn fired her anyway. And I don't, of course Brooklyn misses her mom. Like, supposedly they've been close this entire time, right? So, I get it, but I don't know. Trying to see if I can see Chapel Roan. I honestly, I think it comes down to the venue. Like I mean, Chapel Roan is huge, so like, I would imagine that her concerts would, require like fences and different spaces for different people. Like, I think that people in wheelchairs, they would probably get some kind of accommodation, but it would depend on the venue and how they set it up. Like, surely, like, I don't know what the situation is over there, Angel, but maybe if they have like a frequently asked questions part of their website, wherever the tickets are being sold, or a line to call, maybe you can double check, but it's probably different every venue. Yeah, the actress that plays Flora, yeah, she was on a canceled soap. I can't remember which one. And hey, Nathan. But yeah, what went down between Lois and Brooklyn, courtesy of Lucy, I just felt bad for both of them in that situation. And like, ugh, Lucy makes me so mad. She's doing a pop-up concert in Kansas City at a museum in town. Oh, then call the museum. That's so, I mean, that's cool that she's doing like a small venue, considering she, any festival she's done has been like jam-packed in the past. Interesting, Kaiwan. Alright, now before we get into all things Willow, we got to talk about one more Quartermain for just a moment. Monica. Martin was at Drew's house, having just learned from Sidwell that he's backing out of Measure C. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But when he was about to leave, as Martin was about to leave, he noticed a letter underneath a chair because he dropped something, and he spotted it underneath the chair. He picks it up. It's filled with like crayon coloring and stuff. The envelope. And he asked Drew about it, and Drew was even clueless to it. He's like, I don't know, it must have been like something the kids were drawing on scrap paper. And he just kind of leaves ahead of Martin. Martin reads the letter, and he doesn't read the whole thing out loud, but whatever he read, he looked absolutely shocked to his core. And it has something to do with Monica. So, I mean, people are speculating that it's Erica Slezak's character, who's been rumored to be, or to have ties to Monica. Some people are even speculating that it might be Monica's long-lost sister or something, or she might be. Hopefully, with any luck, this will lead to actually giving the character of Monica some kind of actual send-off in the near future, because it's been nearly 7 months since Leslie Charleston has died. And yes, you can argue that it took forever for Jackie Zeman's death to be acknowledged, but there was a writer's strike during that. So there hasn't been in this case. It's been 7 months. We need to get the ball rolling on that so that, you know, the character can have like a final moment. And then we got to get to Denise Alexander's. Like, my goodness. Kaiwan, you said, do you think that Willow stole that from the house? I don't know. I'm not too sure. Maybe she did. It's hard to say. But we don't know how long it's been under that couch either. Like, she could have still had her kids at that point. So, you know, it was like deep underneath the chair. Alright. Now the moment you've all been waiting for, which is like probably the first time ever. Let's discuss Drew and Willow and everything that unfolded in the past week, because shit was crazy. Shit was absolutely crazy, y'all. So, it's their wedding week, and the whole town still hates them, except for like maybe 5 people, and that pretty much made up the wedding party, but we'll talk about that towards the end. But yeah, so Portia, who is currently being blackmailed by Drew, made the decision that she was going to turn herself into the board and resign from her role as chief of staff, so she wouldn't have to actively hurt one of her patients just to give Drew an advantage. Angel's like, Willow? Yeah. So anyway, Portia informs Isaiah, without going into too much detail, that she would likely be let go from her position as chief of staff, and he encouraged her not to go down without a fight, and she said, I won't be going down without a fight. That's for damn sure. Angel says, Willow is worse than Nell, truly. But yeah, Willow then later comes into her office to give her an invitation to the wedding. And Portia literally looked at her and just like dropped it in the trash right in front of her. Loved that. So soapy. She then told Willow that Drew was trying to blackmail her into making it look like Michael was a drug addict to try and get her kids back. And Willow was hardly fazed by it, and glad he was doing it, which just shows how far gone she is. I mean, honestly, admitting to your boss that you're willing to go along with messing with a patient's medical charts is wild. Even though her boss has literally done the same. Like, let me keep it real. She did that to Heather, okay? But Willow's not aware of that. So, which is why it's a little bit disturbing. And of course, Willow storms off being like, Drew is the only person that I trust now. God, she gets on my nerves. But yeah, I mean, Portia was disturbed herself and called Nina over to be like, there is something wrong with your daughter. She was actually at Drew's house before that. Nina was at Drew's house, accusing Drew of being the one to mess with Michael and Sasha's child, Daisy, which he denies convincingly in Nina's eyes, which obviously, yeah, because he didn't do it. In fact, her listing the reasons why she thought he did it actually made him think that Willow did it. And it seems like after Nina's conversation with Portia, the wheels started turning in Nina's head to make her realize that perhaps it was Willow as well. Now, cut to the wedding day itself. time is of the essence to try and get Willow to see reason. Curtis pays one last visit to Portia to try and convince her to hold off on turning herself in, because he's going to make one last move that involves betraying a friend to get Willow away from Drew. Curtis's reasoning is if Willow leaves Drew, he wouldn't have to force Portia to get Willow's kids back in a shady way that involves messing with one of her patients. But, like, let's be for real. He'd just find a way to use her for something else, whether it has to do with Willow or not. So, I don't see how really it would get Portia out of the sort of water with that. But, regardless, you know, that's his plan. Portia was going to tell Trina everything too, just so that she wasn't blindsided completely. But reluctantly waits to see if whatever Curtis was going to try would work. Trina knew something was... Trina knew something... I can't even talk today, y'all. Trina knew something was up. And Portia sort of dodged the question. Curtis left to go do what he needed to do. And what Curtis needed to do was go to the church and go into Willow's dressing room and confront her. And tell her that Nina and Drew were having an affair before and after the 4th of July when she had kissed Drew. And not long after Curtis left, Nina actually went to tell Willow everything, but of course by then it was too late. And Willow confronts her and asks her point blank. And Nina confesses and explains that their affair started out as kind of twisted. And when they slept together after the 4th, it was to keep Drew away from Willow. I mean, Willow was furious, obviously, because the way that Willow sees it, if Nina had just told Willow the truth from the start about how Drew wasn't being truthful, she would have never been with Drew. She wouldn't have stayed with Drew. So she says. And that, you know, she never would have lost her kids in the first place if she had just told her the truth. I mean, I don't necessarily completely disagree with her entirely. If Nina had just been truthful when she started having feelings for him, she might not have been so easily duped by this idiot. But considering how literally everyone after that tried to point out who the guy really is to her for the better part of a year, if not longer, like, it's absolutely wild to me how little responsibility she is putting on herself for being so naive. When everyone, all of her close friends, all of her family, apart from Nina, because she's stupid, is warning you about this man. Everyone. You have no one left, girl, except Elizabeth and Isaiah. And they're cringing behind your back. So, I don't know. All the evidence was right there in her face. The shocking thing was, despite all of this, Willow still showed up to walk down the aisle. And the look she gave at the back of the church was the kind of look that showed this girl is capable of just about anything at this point. I loved it. That is why it's the thumbnail of this live stream, y'all. Yeah. So, but like, I don't even know what her next move is at this point. It could be anything at this point. Oh man, what are you guys saying in the chat? I had to talk for a long ass time. Do I want Nell Benson to come back to GH? I love Chloe Lanier, so why not? But it would be, you know, maybe a little bit later down the line. We'll see. Angel, you said Drew looked happy that Willow did that stuff to Sasha and Daisy. Hold, though. Hold though, because I have theories. Angel, you said this bitch is crazy. Sneaky Mia, hey Sneaky Mia, you said I'm glad she knows the truth, but she can't be mad at Nina forever. At the time, Nina and Drew were both single, and it only happened once, and Drew has also slept with Carly, Liz, and Sam. True. But I mean, she did, like, sleep with her before and after. And Nina's plan was to lure Drew away from Willow by sleeping with him. That's what she did. And she admitted that, so props to her for doing that. She did it about a year and a half too late, but here we are. Nathan, you said something tells me Drew will be left at the altar and Willow will dump Drew. So I feel like this could go a lot of different ways. I have a few theories that could happen. Like, she could be hiding a gun behind the bouquet of flowers, you know. First of all, but that would probably scare the shit out of Scout, who is there. She could be planning on humiliating him when Lucy asks if anyone would be opposed to this marriage. Although, I'll be real, I'm sure Drew already encouraged Lucy to skip that line because no one really wants to see them married. One theory I'm kind of leaning towards more so is that I think she'll end up marrying him as a means to an end to get her kids back. Because when she was sitting in the dressing room, like, contemplating her life choices and how bad they were, she also had a flashback of Martin saying the best way to get her kids back is to marry Drew. That was, like, I think that was the last flashback they showed before we seen her starting at the back of the church to walk down the aisle. So, I don't know. So, yeah, I think that she'll marry him as a means to an end, maybe. And then, who knows, maybe once she gets her kids back, if she gets her kids back, she might actually kill him and probably adopt Scout too. Yeah, Nina and Drew slept together multiple times. Exactly, it was more than once, for sure. But yeah. Speaking of Scout, Scout and Willow, they had a little moment between them earlier in the evening. Where we actually seen signs of the old Willow for that brief moment. Because Scout was like, do I call you mom now? And Willow, sat her down and just nicely was like, I will never replace your mom. Your mom is your mom. She will be forever. You can call me whatever you feel comfortable calling me. And I appreciated that because it shows that there is signs of, like, the good side of Willow is still in there somewhere. She's just a little bit batshit right now, but she's in there somewhere. But yeah, aside from the flashback, though, I think the other reason that she might marry him is that, from the writer's perspective, it would also give Drew an opportunity to hold what she did to Daisy over her head, and that's why I wanted to kind of bring that up again, Angel. I think that he's going to keep that in the back pocket should Willow ever decide to leave him. And I don't know, and kind of in like a, if I die, the truth will come out about what you did to Daisy and you'll never get your kids back kind of thing, if Willow ends up kind of threatening him. So I think, I don't know, if that's the road that we're gonna go down, that might low-key be kind of fun to watch. Like, two people that are married to each other, that despise each other, that hate each other, that want each other dead. Like, that's so soapy. It's so soapy. Just them being in a loveless marriage, well-deserved at this point, where they want to kill each other. That's soap opera gold, y'all. It's soap opera gold. So we'll see. Let me know if you guys have your own theories on what you think is going to happen once we see Monday's episode. Because I don't know. Like I said, this could really go anywhere. I'm leaning towards that theory that Willow will go through with the marriage, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Angel, you said, I appreciate Alexis rolled her eyes at the mom comment. Yeah. Yeah. You think Willow and Scout storyline went over? I don't know. Brooklyn, you said, hi, Dion. I think, hey, Brooklyn, by the way. You said, I think that Nina will eventually forgive Curtis, knowing that she should have told Willow the truth. Oh, yeah, I think she will, too, because, frick, someone had to do it. And I think the only thing that Nina's probably thinking about is, like, damn it, I should have told her when everybody else told me to tell her. You would have still had your daughter, and you wouldn't have been stressing out about all this other shit. Although, to be fair, I think that Willow deserves to know why Drew was so, accommodating to Nina towards her, because that is why Nina and Willow even have a relationship, because Drew wanted it in with a politician, and Nina was willing to give that to him, provided that he helps Willow soften to her. So, from the jump, even before they were sleeping together, Drew and Nina were both manipulating Willow for their own selfish needs. And that's the thing that Willow truly needs to hear. I mean, she's already done with Nina, but, she needs to hear that part. So that she truly, because, yeah, she's mad at Drew for, lying that he was sleeping around with Nina, but, that first part of Drew using Nina and kind of softening her towards her, knowing how much Willow hated Nina, and the fact that Drew also hated Nina, that he just let her get basically pushed this woman into Willow's life again, just so that he could be a politician. That really shows Drew's true character in this era of GH. That is the thing for me. Kaiwani said, I would like Willow to get married because he needs money and power to defeat Michael. But the thing is, no matter what they do, Drew and Willow, it's not going to work, because the judge is being paid off by Sidwell to go in Michael's favor anyway. So, if it's the same judge, she's still gonna rule towards Michael, no matter what Willow does. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter if Willow ends up being saintly and all of this other stuff. It's not going to matter, because the judge is going to rule in Michael's favor, because Sidwell is paying her to rule in her favor anyway. So it's it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Angel, you said Willow was right. Nina sucks as a mother. Yeah, she really does. Her desperation to keep her daughter is what's going to make her lose her daughter. I think Sidwell won't be paying anytime soon, but he already did pay her. So, and Sidwell, he still seems to be going all in with Sonny Corinthos, which we'll talk about next. Sidwell's still planning on going all in. So let's talk about the Sidwell stuff. Let's just get into it already, since we're there already. So, as you guys know, Sonny told Sidwell that if he didn't meet his demands about pulling funding from Measure C and ending this media war against him, that it might cost him Marco's life, since Sonny had been holding him hostage. And Sidwell decided to play ball. He pulled out of funding for Measure C and ended the media campaign against Sonny. And once Sonny got what he wanted, he made sure Lucas got a key and an address to rescue Marco. Marco went straight to the police, only to lie about what happened to the cops, which obviously annoyed ADA Turner. But there wasn't anything she could do about it. Lucas is reeling, of course, not only from Marco's decisions, but from Carly making excuses for Sonny, and from Sonny being Sonny about it. Sonny visited Marco later just to put him on notice and to let him know that he did not kill Natalia. And it seemed at that time that Marco truly believed it, but it turns out he doesn't. and is now all in on helping Sidwell bring Sunny down, no matter what that entails. So that's going, beyond his lawyer duties in Sidwell's legitimate part of his business. So I'm sitting here like, damn, Lucas is really out here with a new man who's going to end up turning into a guy that is just as bad as Sunny and Sidwell are, which is unfortunate. Lucas and Marco did finally have sex, though. And I'm pretty sure Lucas is probably a bottom. He's definitely the little spoon, anyway, which is... it's so funny to me because when he was played by Ryan Carnes, like, Lucas had full-on top energy. And Van Hansis, he definitely gives Lucas a bit more of a feminine energy. So I can't even imagine Ryan's version being, like, the little spoon in any situation. And then there's, and Adrian, as Marco, he kind of gives off both feminine and masculine energy. So, he has this sort of air about him. I feel like in real life and on the show, that he's so confident in the skin that he's in, comfortable with his sexuality in all realms, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure if that's necessarily true. It's just the vibe that I'm getting. But yeah, he did open up to Maurice Benard in his State of Mind podcast today. Good interview. Highly recommend it. Angel says, was that their first time? I think it was, yeah. Marco must have a good pipe. I mean, probably. Adrian is sexy, you guys. I was excited when Marco arrived. But yeah. Check out that interview that Mo did with Adrian. Really good interview. And it turns out Adrian is an empath. Fun fact. Watch the interview, though. But yeah, now the only other noteworthy thing that kind of went on, well, actually there's like two. So, one, Anna convinced Dante that Jocelyn is for sure in the WSB, which she is, and he's going to keep it a secret because of the danger that surrounds in people finding out that she's part of the WSB. It could ruin whatever mission she's on. It could put her in more danger with whoever Dalton is working for and working with. Angel says Lucas is dick whipped. Dick dizzy. Yep. But yeah, I don't know. It's Dante finding out the truth about Jocelyn being in the WSB is kind of funny because Dante was in the WSB too. Like I feel like it's not brought up enough, but he did work for them for like a couple of years, or with them at least. And then, yeah, I don't know. They just gotta figure out what's going on with Dalton. We'll see if she can handle it. The second thing is Christina being annoying as per usual, because of course she is. Basically she sees how close Molly and Cody seem to be. They're at the Metrocorp pool. She's rubbing sunscreen on his back, and Christina, she's not happy about that. She decides to take it upon herself to basically manipulate Molly into thinking, oh, Cody is the type that's going to sleep with rich women for money, rich, successful woman. He's always like trying to flirt with them and all this stuff. And I'm just like, can't you just let them have their fun? It's not like Ava is there. Like, for God's sakes. It just makes me so mad. Like, let your sister be happy, for God's sake. Cody is only doing this for Molly. You convinced him to do this because it gets Molly's dad away from Ava. Like, I don't know, y'all. Brooklyn said Lucas is still alive because he's Carly's brother. That's true. Mad at Tiger 10, you said Willow will enact revenge and no one will see her coming. I mean, Nina and Obrecht might. They can see she's batshit crazy. And I mean, Nina, you gotta wonder what she's thinking with Willow still being down the aisle. Like, hopefully she's not they're sitting there thinking she only blames me for the affair. She really is far gone, but maybe that'll work in Willow's favor with whatever she's got planned. Ricardo, you said Willow said Nina sucks as a mother. Willow sucks as a mom also. Yeah, I guess like mother like daughter. Daughters. Nell sucked as a mom too. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the Christina thing made me mad. Like, girl, you hired him to seduce Ava. This guy has a full-time job. And is basically seducing Ava as a favor to Molly. So that's my annoyance on that. But yeah, that was GH in a nutshell. It was an enjoyable week, and I can't believe I'm saying that considering how Drew and Willow filled it was. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I am really looking forward to seeing Monday's episode. I work till 6, so I can't see it until after work. But I am excited to see, because I don't know where this story is going to go. And if y'all know, if y'all read spoilers, do not spoil me. Let me enjoy Monday's episode, y'all. Oh, lordy. But yeah. That's kind of it on the recap, y'all. Again, it was just such a fun week to watch, especially Friday's episode. Thursday and Friday were both good. Portia, like, just being done with everything and trying to tell Willow who her man is, and her, of course, not seeing it. And like, I knew at that conversation that it wasn't going to get through to Willow because we still seen in the promo for the week, like the promo video, that Willow was in the church, and that took place before the church. So, like, I wasn't expecting anything from it, but at least it kind of was the segue into her telling Nina that there's something wrong with her daughter, and Nina sort of figuring out from there that maybe Willow was the one that messed with Daisy. So yeah. I loved it. I loved this week. But yeah, I don't have much else to say beyond enjoying it. I will be live, not Wednesday. I will be live on Sunday. But the Sunday after that I won't be, because I'll still be in Montreal. So I will check in. Okay, I'll see you next Sunday. I won't see you the Sunday after that, but I will see you the following Wednesday, because I'll be back in town. Then we can kind of, well, I'll have to play catch up with GH. I'll check in before the second Sunday. I'll check in before the Sunday, or I guess the third Sunday technically. I'm probably not making any sense. I'll see you guys next Sunday. I won't see you the week after that, but I will see you before the third Sunday. Hopefully that made sense. No Wednesday show. No, I'm buckling down. I'm trying to get as much practice in for my show in September as I can before my trip. So I'm just like basically just kind of rehearsing every night right now, just on my own. Gonna get together with the band sometime before I leave in Montreal, whenever we can kind of accommodate with that, so we can have like a first trial run all together. And then we're just gonna have to go real hard for the weeks leading up to the September show, because it's early September. So, you know, time will, this month is a bit of a sacrifice for the streams, but, once the show is over in September, then we'll be back to regular programming. Sundays and Wednesdays. I kind of want time for me to be a big star. I don't know about that, but I'm really pushing myself for this show vocally, and I think I've said this before, but it's like the hardest I've ever had to work to maintain my voice through an entire set because the vocals are harsh and loud and high, and there's screaming, like full on blah kind of screaming. So, you know, I'm really having to like really focus on doing it in a way that protects my voice, and makes it stronger. So it's been a challenge, and also just trying to memorize all the words is probably like my hardest thing because like other than like there's only 2 songs from the original show that I was doing over last year that are the same, and these other songs, like there's certain songs that I know better than others, but there's a couple of cover tunes that I'm struggling to remember some of the verses. So I'm trying. I'm just like reading them, even when I'm at work. If I have a quiet moment, I'm like running through it in my head, like. So, you know, I'm just like slowly trying to ease out of having the words in front of me for certain songs. But yeah, pop punk is coming back soon, hopefully. Pop punk never left. All right, don't get it twisted. It's been around. You know, I feel like it came back in the mainstream like 5 years ago, in a big way, because Travis Barker was like producing every album that came out for like a whole year and a half, and all of it was like pop punk. So, even artists that don't usually do pop punk were doing pop punk during that era. Make up lyrics. It's so funny. Like you say that because like nobody for my originals, nobody knows what those lyrics are. Because they're not out yet. They're not out yet. The goal is to have a single out in September. You guys have probably heard things because there's things that I've uploaded on YouTube in the past that I'm revisiting that I've never performed live. So there's that. But yeah, for the most part, my tunes aren't the problem. It's the cover tunes that I'm having a harder time to memorize. There may be like a line here and there that I'll like flub in my own songs, but like easily rectifiable. Yeah. But you know, to that end, you know, if you confidently sing the lyrics wrong, they're not going to notice unless they know the song well themselves. And some of the covers are well known. We'll see. But yeah. Yeah, on that note, I will see you guys Sunday. I cannot wait to talk to you about whatever goes down this week, because it's probably going to be insane. I'm so excited. GH is going to be good this week, you guys. I can feel it. But alright, thank you so much for watching, guys. Good night, SLJ. If you liked this video, give it a big old thumbs up, subscribe if you want to, and I will catch you guys next Sunday to talk about whatever hell breaks loose this week on GH, courtesy of Willow. Alright, have a good night, y'all. Mwah. Good night.